Welcome to another edition of Center Stage. I'm Marc Cuniberti, and today it's my pleasure to welcome our listeners in Northern California, Mr. Peter Frampton. Good morning, Peter. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning.
Now, it's been a while, but you've got a new album out entitled Now, just released on Frampton Records, 33 Street Records. Give our listeners an idea what we can expect on this new project.
Well, basically, it's obviously totally new material, apart from one cover song that we did of George Harrison's "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," which has been played on the airways, which for a band like us is sort of pretty amazing that we got any airplay at all. Thank you very much. It's all new material. It's the way this one is different is that it's from a collection of songs that I wrote over 4 years prior to making and during making the record, which was the first time I ever was able to record the whole band, tracking and overdubbing and mixing in my own house, in my own studio, which gave me the experimentation time to really go over the top and realize it and come back. And I really feel like it's the first album that it's like a painter having his own painting studio with nobody else coming in to take his canvas down while he works on theirs. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's been a very, very gratifying, expensive. Studios are expensive, but this is for the rest of my life, so it's a wonderful investment, and I now can continue in this fashion.
You can afford it, eh?
Well, you know, you still got to put the kids through college.
I understand. Hey, is this done in all digital format, or was there some old-fashioned tape used?
No, we always start on analog. I've got when I heard they were stopping making Studer 24 tracks, I bought an analog machine, and this was a few years ago, and so we fill up the 24 track on 2-inch tape, just the old-fashioned way. So basically that's the backing track goes on there, and then as soon as you finish that, then we transfer it to a digital audio workstation. I use a program called Nuendo, and by Steinberg, and then you've got a million tracks. You can do whatever you want. It's phenomenal what one can do now. So yeah, I've pretty much stayed up with. Very, very much on the cutting edge of the digital technology, and this is the first program I've ever heard, a Nuendo, that sounds like tape. So we've got there finally.
A little bit warmer with the analog in the beginning.
Yes, and also, you know, if I wanted to during the process, at any point, I can then go back to the analog and put up another reel, and if I wanted to replace a bass or overdub a drum part or something, you can always go back to the analog and retain that warmth as well, and then transfer it again. So I'm constantly going back between the two formats for
Sure.
whichever sounds the best.
You know, I was looking at your tour schedule, Peter. You're currently touring here in the U.S. What can one expect if they come to see you live now?
Well, we're going out with it's us and Styx, and actually Nelson do an acoustic set to open up for us, basically we'll be doing about an hour and 15 minutes of what people would like to hear, what they expect us to do, you know, some of the hits, and then we will be doing a collection from the new record. And some others as well from other records. It's sort of like a trip through the catalog, basically.
Sure. You going to be doing any stuff from The Herd or Humble Pie?
This tour, no. We had been doing. I mean, there's always a vague possibility we'll go into Doctor or something, but if time permits. But basically, because it's a 3-act show, everyone's playing a little shorter, so we get everybody in there.
Sure. Hey, of course, the talk always leads to Frampton Comes Alive, and we're no exception. After that Frampton Comes Alive album came out to the stores, did that change your life a little bit?
Oh, not so you'd notice. Yeah, I mean, it was, it's a place, I went to a place where very few people have been. I recommend it, and I don't, in the same breath. I mean, it's something that everyone who has got a passion for something hopes that one day they'll reach a lot of people if it's an artistic, that's the field you're in. So obviously, I hoped one day to reach a lot of people with my work, and never really bargained on reaching quite that many people. And with that, obviously, I'm not whining, but with that comes a little bit of a burden of the fact of going where no man has gone before, woman has gone before, as far as sales, where you become this. I liken it to Michael Jackson and to Hootie and the Blowfish, Carole King before me. It's almost like there's no life after that huge thing, because people are always expecting you to. It's made such an indelible mark. It's almost like nothing you can do will rub that out. But the beauty of it is that I'm here doing exactly what I want to do. Nearly 30 years later. So, and still playing to lots of crowds, making records.
Sure.
And in this day and age, it might have taken me 9 years to get that record out because of the state of the music industry. But in that time, so much has changed. The record industry has fallen on its face, and because of that, I think we're coming out the other side, and I think you're going to see a real change now instead of being told what to buy by programmed media. I think there's such a backlash now, even from my 16-year-old son, who said that anything recorded after 82 is crap. This is someone who would only listen to Blink-182 and Green Day, and who I like. Don't get me wrong, but that was it for him up until he had this awakening when he heard Dark Side of the Moon. So, I think yes, it's a horrible time for music in a way, but I think because it's got so bad, I think we're just about to really see. I'm being optimistic.
Sure.
I think it's going to be wonderful. I think there's going to be a real reawakening to all sorts of new music, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's a common thread between artists that's reached that top of the pinnacle that after that, sometimes down the road, it can get a little tough. So I would imagine that's applicable to yourself as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the thing that annoys me more than anything else is what happened to your hair?
Hey, you're not alone there, brother.
I know, and that's what I say. So, some of us are lucky. I think one has to go back 3 generations to ask great-great-grandpapa. It's his fault. But no, I'm joking, obviously. But I think if that's the least of my worries, I'm in great shape.
They say it skips a generation, so your son's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, when you recorded live album at Winterland, did you have any idea what was going to happen?
Oh no, not a clue. We just realized that when we came off that night, because it was the first headline show we'd ever done in San Francisco, and one of the very first we'd done anywhere. So we were scrambling for more than 45-minute set, So it was. That's why the acoustic set is in there, because we had to make it up somehow, and we'd never done acoustic stuff before. So, which I'm glad we did,
Sure. Kind of a magical night for you then, eh?
It was. Yeah, it was a special night. We captured it. I mean, many nights you come off and you go, oh, gee, wish we'd have recorded that. Well, we did.
Is that album all from that one night?
I'd say 75% of it is, yes. Winterland, June 14th, I believe, 1975. And then there's a couple of tracks from 2 nights before at Marin Civic Center. Baby, I Love Your Way comes from Plattsburgh, New York, a little later in the summer. And Show Me the Way comes from Comac, Long Island.
People keep asking me, and if you don't mind me asking you, how much could an artist and how much could a record label make off a super hit like Frampton Comes Alive? And did the term "save for a rainy day" come into play?
It's so different now than it was then. I mean, it's multi-millions of. If you think of what Frampton Comes Alive generated, let's put it this way. What I received from that was a disgustingly small amount, because talk to Don Henley about it. He seems to be the man to who I think this consortium of artists and everything that we're trying to change. Because if you look at a literary contract for someone who writes a book, it's absolutely night and day. It's almost like the record industry was started by the mafia, basically. And I'm going to get killed, aren't I? But I mean, that sort of thinking, and it was a privilege to be on someone's record label, as opposed to being the artist who creates and should own the piece of work, and that doesn't happen. It's only just recently started to happen.
Sure. You don't have to worry. I'm only going to play it through half the state of California.
Oh, good. Okay. There's none of those guys. It doesn't exist anymore. It's the Sopranos is just it's fantasy.
You know, the days of the 50,000-seat stadium concerts are all but gone. Do you miss the large stadium crowds, and why don't you think we see those venues anymore?
Well, I don't miss. You know, I did so many of them. I know that sounds like I'm playing my own trumpet, but I am. But yes, they were very, very exciting times. Yes, to play in front of 125,000 people in Philadelphia was probably one of the most exciting things I've ever done. Obviously, but it's a different level of excitement. But you know, I get just as much excitement out of playing to I think my favorite environment is what we're doing this summer is the amphitheaters, because you're playing to, you know, 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000 under the cover, as it were, of the amphitheater, and then can be like 20,000 total with them on the grass, and then you've got, you know, speakers out there. So it's a fun, it's a comfortable environment for people. It's a great sound for us, and it's not too big that sound is a problem.
Sure. You can check out Peter Frampton at peterframpton.com. We can learn just about everything we want to know about Peter. You know, besides the obvious health drawbacks that come with getting older, I seem to find that life just keeps getting better. You look like you're having a ball on your website. Do you find the same?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, we all lived, you obviously lived through the 70s. I don't know how old you are, but were you there with us?
Yep.
Okay. Enough said. So those of us who wised up, got through all that rubbish, the crazy times of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know.
Sure.
You know, it's which kids are probably going through. Well, they are going through right now in their different ways. But yeah, I think that now I'm so thrilled to be in a position where you know, I've cut out all the extraneous stuff that would be hampers my lifestyle. You know, all the drink and drugs and all that stuff has been gone for many years. So you have children, you have a family, that grounds you much more. And I think that now it's just pure. I go out with my band for enjoyment, and it's sort of like the way we started. And my wife keeps mentioning the word retirement, and I said, excuse me, I don't comprehend retirement. It's just, you know, if there's a gym at the hotel, I can get to the next gig. You
there
know,
you go.
That's the way. It's funny how things change.
Johnny Winter said, as long as they could wheel him out and sit him in a chair, he's going to keep playing.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know, B.B. King sits down, but he still plays, if not better than ever.
Sure. Is your record out in the stores now, or do we have to go to the website?
It is. Yes,
okay.
it is.
And pretty. We've heard a couple of cuts from it here, although I don't have a copy. Pretty heavy rock in there. What can we expect?
Oh, there's a bit of everything in there. Yeah. But do check out. Let's see. Obviously, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, our cover of George's song, the Beatles song, and Hour of Need is a great song. I mean, I you know, it's one of my. I feel very proud of it because we did really put. It's a labor of love.
I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. Do you have anything else you want to say to your fans here at KVMR FM or KFOK FM in Northern California?
Well, I can't wait to see you guys, and please come along and see the show. And you know, I think you'll have a good time. What
are the chances we can get you right up here in the Tahoe foothills to blow the doors off a local venue here?
Well, that would have to be. You'd have to get in touch with the agent and management. We can. You can do that.
Make you an offer you can't refuse, huh?
That will be great. Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Peter Frampton. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great day.